The championship final gripped the arena. Korin Academy's gymnasium roared with anticipation.
The laughter of the crowd cut through Kaori like a blade. She clung to her mop, tears spilling.
My chest. It's cracking. Something inside is crawling out. I can't control it.
Hayato froze mid-dribble. He spun toward the sound of his mother's name, his blood running cold.
His pupils split vertically, and scales like molten gold pushed through the skin of his neck.
Get back. Don't you dare touch my mother.
He dribbled with supernatural speed, each step leaving a scorch mark on the polished floor. Defenders reached for him and found only heat. The ball flickered like a flame. The gym fell into a deep, unnatural silence. Every eye locked on Hayato. Hayato stood panting, scales fading, not understanding what he had become. Toshiki watched, his smirk stretching into cold triumph. Before the game that shattered all cover, Hayato lived bound by a single rule. Do not stand out.
I can't let them see. Not the skill, not the hunger. If the school found out, they'd take away my scholarship.
His mother, Kaori, scrubbed floors after dark, her back aching, her smile worn thin. The taunts echoed even when he was alone. Scholarship rat, janitor's brat. He let them slide off him, but they left grit behind.
Hayato, promise me you'll never let them see how good you really are. It's safer that way.
Safer from what? She never says. But her eyes hold a fear that has nothing to do with money.
One night, while searching for a lost sock, he found a wooden box hidden under her bed.
A dragon on this locket? Why would she hide something like this?
Where did you find that? It's nothing, just an old trinket. Put it back, Hayato.
But the dragon's eyes seemed to follow him, and he knew it was far from nothing. While Hayato stared at the locket in a dark office across campus, Toshiki unrolled a scroll marked with a crimson dragon.
Daiki, the Ryujin blood is not dead. That janitor's son carries the last living flame of the dragon.
You are certain? How long have you known?
Since his father burned, I arranged today's little scene to awaken him. Now we finish the job.
The public humiliation. It was a trap. He forced Hayato's power out just to destroy him.
Our clan has hunted them for centuries. This is our sacred duty. You will not fail me.
And if he loses control, innocent people could get hurt.
I only wanted to keep you safe, away from the eyes that hunted him. I'm sorry I hid the truth.
I'll protect you, Mother, no matter what. I won't let them take anyone else from me.
He clutched the amulet, its glow syncing with his heartbeat. The second quarter loomed, and with it, answers he couldn't yet imagine. The second quarter sizzled with tension. Hayato stepped onto the court, the amulet a hot pulse beneath his jersey.
The dragon's fury claws at my veins. It wants to break free. I'm barely holding it back.
He drove into the lane, but his body was a runaway engine. A defender flew from a brutal shoulder hit. Whistles shrieked, a flagrant foul. His teammates stared in disbelief as the referee signaled. In the VIP box, Toshiki's smirk returned. The dragon was a spectacle and a danger. Hayato recovered the ball, but Daiki materialized in his path, arms wreathed in a spectral blue glow. The block connected with an electric crackle. Hayato crashed to the floor, gasping.
He needs guidance, not a hunter's blade. Father won't understand, but I can't let him become the monster they fear. Control the fire, Dragon Boy. You have no idea what you are or who's watching.
The coach pulled Hayato from the game. He dropped onto the bench, Daiki's words searing through his confusion. In the silent hallway, Hayato pressed against the wall. Toshiki's voice slithered through the dark.
I've waited years for this, cleaner rat. That dragon blood in your son, it belongs to me now.
You monster, you used my son's rage as a weapon against him.
Precisely, and it worked beautifully. The dragon has awakened, and I'll strip it from his bones.
It was all a trap. The humiliation, the laughter, a calculated spark to ignite this fire.
The hunt has only begun. Soon, your boy will be nothing but an empty husk.
Hayato emerged from the shadows, scales bristling on his skin, his eyes twin coals of fury.
He will pay for every tear she shed. I'll unleash the dragon on him.
The amulet pulsed against his chest, a silent warning. The second half would be a battlefield, not a game. He strode back into the roaring arena, a predator finally aware of the hunt. The second half erupted with a new ferocity. Hayato moved with the grace of a predator unchained.
Every dribble pounds with my rage. Toshiki will pay with every basket.
He spun past two defenders and unleashed a tomahawk dunk that rattled the rim like thunder.
I won't let them do this. Not again. The dragon screamed inside his skull, demanding release.
His restraint shattered. A pulse of raw heat erupted from his chest, expanding like a bomb of invisible fire. The nearest defender flew backward as if struck by a giant fist, crashing hard onto the polished wood. Kaori pressed a hand to her mouth, her scream trapped behind fingers. The referee's whistle shrieked. High above, Toshiki leaned back in his seat, a slow smile spreading. This was the proof he needed. The officials gathered, grim-faced. A player was down, and the source of the blast was impossible to explain.
I didn't mean it. I can't control this. They're right to be afraid of me.
Before officials could act, Toshiki stood. With a wave, two suits descended on the stands. They dragged Kaori onto the court, her mop clattering on the steps.
This boy is a danger. Surrender yourself for extraction, or your mother pays the price.
Extract? They want to rip the dragon out of me, and they'll hurt Mom to do it.
The gym around them seemed to blur. A phantom sting of a slap echoed in Daiki's memory.
Father, stop. This isn't hunting. It's kidnapping.
Silence. You will remember your place, or join the Ryujin on the execution block.
Daiki's jaw clenched. He turned away, breathing hard, his conviction crumbling.
If I refuse, she dies. If I surrender, the dragon dies. Either way, I lose.
Toshiki's smile widened, Hayato frozen, his mother's tears reflecting the gym lights. Daiki snapped his head back toward the court, his fists unclenched, and he walked forward, not as a son, but as a traitor to cruelty. He stepped in front of Hayato, spreading his arms as a barrier between his father and the petrified boy.
Two men in suits slipped through the crowd, their gaze fixing on Daiki like hounds on a scent.
A collective gasp ripped through the stands. Dozens of phones rose, recording the moment the conspiracy unraveled.
You insolent brat. I will tear your name from the family register.
Then tear it. I won't carry the weight of centuries of murder any longer.
He threw away everything. His family, his legacy, for a stranger. Why would a hunter do that?
Toshiki's face contorted. He raised a hand, and his thugs tightened their grip on Kaori.
You forced my hand, boy. Now the dragon will be cut out in front of everyone, starting with the mother.
The gym split. Some screamed for police, others for the dragon's head. Daiki stood alone against his own blood.
In Daiki's mind, a locked door swung open. The memory flooded back, a secret he had buried since childhood.
Little heir, unleash me. Together, we can crush these insects and paint the court with their ashes.
Number, revenge will make me the monster they claim I am. I need to protect, not destroy.
The dragon paused, intrigued. It had never been refused with such resolve. Then prove it. Let me ride with you. A pact, not a prison. We save your mother, and you earn my respect.
Deal. Let's end this nightmare.
Scales wove across his skin like living armor, but his gaze stayed lucid, a warrior, not a beast.
If I stop him now, father wins, but if he loses control, he dies.
Daiki glanced back, and for the first time, hope flickered in his eyes. Hayato stepped forward, the air rippling with heat, and faced his mother's captors without a hint of the terrified boy from moments before. In a blink, Hayato was among them. He moved like living flame, not to burn, but to free. The thug's grips were sundered by sheer heat and force, flung aside like dolls.
Father, you would shame us like this, in front of everyone.
From inside his suit, Toshiki drew a small black dagger, its edge alive with malevolent runes.
Hayato, don't let him poison you. Remember who you are.
Hayato didn't flinch. The dragon's aura flared, and the dagger shattered against it, runes dissolving into ash.
Impossible. The ancient seal should have pierced any Ryujin.
Toshiki collapsed, breathless. Police and school officials poured onto the court, drawn by the chaos. They handcuffed him and dragged him away. His legacy shattered in one afternoon. Hayato stood, scales still glinting, looking at Daiki. The whistle blew. The game was not over.
With 90 seconds left, Hayato and Daiki met at center court. The ball screamed between their hands.
He isn't mocking me. He's offering a real test. If I win, it's not revenge. It's proof I can control this. Deal. No more blood. Just basketball. Let's see who's better.
The referee, hesitant, glanced at the officials before nodding. The scoreboard reset. The crowd, once divided, began a slow, rhythmic clap. Uncertain at first, then swelling. Hayato wiped sweat from his brow. The dragon's heat now a steady warmth instead of a wildfire.
His eyes, they're clear. It's like he's tamed it in minutes. What was my father so afraid of?
Daiki took his position, a genuine grin, cracking his stoic mask. The ball arced into the air.
Hayato stepped to the line, the gym a swirling vortex. 2 shots, the game on his fingertips.
The gym roared back to life. But this time, the sound was laced with exhilaration, not fear. Hayato burst past his defender, the ball a blur of heat and leather. Daiki slid over to cut him off.
Crush him. He's made of glass. Show them true power. The dragon's voice clawed at his restraint.
He raised his elbow, the limb wreathed in crimson. Then, at the last moment, he yanked it back.
The amulet pulsed in rhythm with his heartbeat. The fire inside him banked to a warm glow. He took a breath that steadied the gym. The ball left his hands, a silent prayer.
Good. You pulled it back. That's the difference between a monster and a man.
Daiki reached out and clapped Hayato's shoulder, a gesture that drew a collective exhale from the crowd.
He's not goading me. He's making me stronger, a hunter, helping a dragon. The world really did flip.
Swish, the lead stretched. The amulet's glow softened, job done.
The scoreboard ticked on, the gap between the teams narrowing to a single, razor-thin point. The tension shattered. A harsh voice from Daiki's own team, still loyal to Toshiki. Still a janitor's brat with a monster inside. Your mother should have drowned you at birth.
That voice. He was in the stands before. He's like Toshiki. He wants me to lose control.
Hayato's pupils ignited crimson. A tremor rocked the floor, cracking a wooden plank. Heat rippled outward. The backboard shuddered, and the crowd screamed.
Slowly, he unclenched his fists. Then, with deliberate grace, he turned his back to the VIP box.
For Mom, for Daiki, who believed in me, I am not a monster.
He squeezed his eyes shut. The fire in his veins recoiled, inch by agonizing inch. When he opened them, his gaze was raw but steady. The provoker stumbled back, white-faced. The referee's whistle shrieked. Another stoppage, but this time, Hayato stood tall, the dragon's hum a quiet companion.
The game clock ticked on, but for a moment the court was no longer a battlefield. A hunter had become an ally, and the revolution had begun.
The dragon still hums, but it's not screaming. It's a steady current under my skin.
He glided past 2 defenders, not with rage, but with effortless grace. The ball an extension of his will. Daiki cut to the rim, a silent call. Hayato's no-look pass threaded the defense like a needle. Daiki laid it in. The scoreboard flinched, tie game.
As order was restored, Hayato and Daiki stood alone under the basket, the chaos around them fatting to a murmur.
Possession after possession. They wove a pattern, a backdoor cut, a steal, a fast break finish. The crowd, once fractured, rose as one, their roar a single note of disbelief.
Even the dragon is silent, almost. It's watching, learning, like it's found something new.
Daiki threw his head back, a rare laugh escaping. For the first time, he wasn't a hunter or a captor, just a player. But the clock still bled seconds. A single point separated them now, and the final minute was minutes away. The clock showed 15 seconds. Tied score. Hayato held the ball at the top of the key, the defense collapsing around him.
Break them. One flame burst and the game is yours. The dragon coiled, ready. But another voice. Moms, cut through. Suppress it, Hayato. That's the only way.
The coach stood firm, arms crossed. On the court, Daiki's footwork slowed, deliberately sluggish.
With a sharp fake left, Hayato drew the defense, then snapped a no-look pass behind his back.
He passed to me. He didn't take the shot himself. He trusted me.
The gym sucked in a collective breath. Even the dragon's hum quieted.
He chose me over his own power. Now I have to prove him right.
The dunk exploded through the rim. A shockwave of red and gold energy rippled across the court.
Whatever happens, this was the right choice. Not power, faith.
The ball sat in Daiki's hands, the entire gym hanging on the edge of eternity.
High above the court, Toshiki's rage calcified into something colder. From his breast pocket, he withdrew a pendant pulsing with sickly blue light.
It kissed the glass and slipped through the net. The whistle drowned in the crowd's roar.
He slammed the pendant against the railing. A shockwave of blue energy shot toward the court like a spear.
This is for every innocent caught between our clans. My father's poison ends today.
Hayato stood behind the arc, the dragon's hum, a gentle warmth. He didn't need to say anything. Daiki bent his knees, exhaled, and released. The ball arced, a prayer in reverse. Swish. The lead was theirs by a single point. 5 seconds remained. The opposing team called a frantic timeout. It wasn't over.
One stop. That's all. We do this together.
They bumped fists, and the dragon's hum synced with Hayato's heartbeat. Steady, protective, ready.
A lone figure broke from the stunned crowd. Kaori sprinted across the court and threw herself over her son.
He read the pass before it left the fingers, a long arc to the sharpshooter in the corner.
Not with force, with precision. That's how I prove this power is mine.
He launched himself not to obliterate, but to redirect. A fingertip touched the spinning leather. The ball kissed off his nail and fluttered away. Daiki, already rotating, seized it with both hands. Daiki cradled the ball as if it were forged steel. The horn shrieked. Time expired.
The hunter's seal screamed and shattered into a million shards. The backlash hurled Toshiki backward over the railing.
The dragon. It's not just humming, it's purring, like it's proud.
Daiki found him through the chaos. They didn't need words. A nod was enough.
Kaori clung to his arm, sobbing. The game was frozen, but victory now burned in Hayato's chest, not for revenge, but for love.
Daiki crossed the court in 3 strides and pulled Hayato into a fierce, wordless embrace.
Hayato helped Kaori to the sideline, pressing his forehead to hers. She smiled through tears and pushed him back.
You risked everything to stand with me. That's not hunter blood. That's your own.
Kaori pushed through the crowd, still in her janitor's uniform, tears carving clean lines through dust.
Across the center line, Daiki stood alone. His teammates had already conceded more than the game.
The dragon mark on his arm pulsed once, a deep, warm gold, then settled into calm permanence.
The dragon. It's not fire anymore. It's a heartbeat. It's part of me now.
Daiki watched them with a rare, unguarded smile. The weight of clans dissolved in the gymnasium light.
This is for her, for him, for every soul crushed by this feud.
And the crowd's roar, which began in mockery, finished as a chant of the name they once despised. Hayato, the principal announced. Full scholarship for Hayato, and his mother as appointed coordinator. Kaori was handed a new badge, tears of pride replacing years of silent suffering. Before the disciplinary board, Toshiki's arrogance crumbled. Expulsion and national charges followed. In a stark cell, he raged, but the dragon's calm had already won.
Hayato gathered and rose. The dragon coiled around him as he windmilled the ball.
We'll call it the Korin Alliance. Dragon and spear together.
Days later, the banner hung in the gym. Crimson dragon wrapped around a silver spear.
This is how we break centuries of hatred, one game at a time.
Co-captains. Hayato and Daiki led their first practice, a line of eager players behind them. From the stands, Kaori watched, her janitor's uniform exchanged for a coordinator's badge, her heart full.
Federation officials stood before Toshiki, his face twisted as the arrest warrant was read aloud.
Father, this is the ball we won. I couldn't bring you the trophy, but I brought the fight that saved Mom.
He placed the leather ball on the headstone, its scuffs telling a story louder than words.
I used to think you were a curse, but you protected Mom. You protected me. You are my guardian. Deep within, a voice, ancient and warm, answered. You refused my fire for slaughter. You chose trust. You are my equal.
The mark on his arm blazed gold, not with wrath, but with the quiet fire of legacy accepted.
He always said the dragon would choose its equal, not its master. That day has come.
At the exit, Toshiki gave one final scream before the door slammed, severing his reign forever. Hayato stood with Daiki watching. The trophy ceremony was next, but for now, they simply existed in a new world.
Mother and son walked away, the dragon's presence a quiet warmth between them. At practice, Hayato and Daiki orchestrated the court with easy rhythm, laughter replacing the glares that once defined them.
Behind your back, and you never saw it coming.
Courage, I just finally listened to the voice I tried to silence. You showed me it's possible.
They bumped shoulders and jogged off the court, co-captains, friends, a dragon and a hunter walking the same path. Later, they hoisted the championship trophy in the empty gym, the banner of the Korean Alliance hanging behind them.
This one says champions, not prey. 2 worlds, 1 trophy.
When they turned to the crowd and pointed at the banners, the arena thundered its approval.
No more cold leftovers from the janitor's closet. Tonight, we celebrate properly.
Together and for her and everyone who believed.
The two rivals stood back to back, red and blue light intertwining, a promise sealed under the court's glow.
Morning light spilled over the empty court. Hayato stood alone, ball resting against his hip. He dribbled slowly, the sound a steady pulse, neither hurried nor uncertain. A flicker of crimson traced the leather seams. As if the dragon itself was listening, he stopped, and his shadow stretched across the pavement. Not a boy, but a dragon unfurling its wings. Then he turned, facing forward. One eye glowed red, vertical pupils sharp with quiet pride.
The dragon inside me isn't a curse. It's a guardian, forever free.
He tapped the ball once more and spun it on his finger, a champion's casual flourish.
They held each other, the amulet shining like a small sun between them, a promise kept across generations.
And upon the dark, the title settled like an afterimage. Trapped dragon inside him awakened when his mother was mocked at court and fades to black.